One, two, three. We have completed 1/4 of the Great American Loop, and we've learned a thing or two along the way. So in today's episode of Loop Scoop,
learn from our mistakes.
Perfect. Okay, so first off, as you've probably figured out by now, we're not posting in real time. We completed the loop last year, and we are just now editing it. And that's because of a lot of things, but mainly because we wanted to enjoy doing the loop when we were actually doing the loop, and editing takes a ton of time.
Just wasn't possible.
It wasn't possible for us with kids and work and enjoying the loop.
And I think we're making better videos, spending time. I know we are enjoying reliving the trip through these videos. So I think we would have rushed it and gotten something out and sent it, but now we're really crafting. At least I think we are.
I mean, there's still
You may beg to differ.
But newsflash, very few, if not, none of the big boating channels that you watch on YouTube are posting real time. So I know it's disappointing for some people that you're not like living the drama real time with us, but none of the channels are real time. So sorry to burst
Well, if you're in the remote waters of Fiji, it's hard to even get a signal to send it up. We had problems in the coastal United States.
That's true. So just spoiler alert, but we do love comments and recommendations for areas that, yes, we've already been there, but people watching the video might still be going. So it's fantastic when you leave us comments with thoughts, suggestions, ideas, tips. We still love that. So don't not do that, because we've done that part of the loop, but others watching may not have. So we hope that our comment section is a great resource.
And we love the comments, and we have the best, what are we, 51,000 just shy followers, and awesome group of people. So we're so happy to have you.
Yeah, so thank you for
virtually
following along
cruising
and
with
your
us.
super sweet comments that make our day, because sometimes editing these videos is tedious and we're like, why are we doing it?
And you know who likes you best? Russell.
What? Hello? Did someone say my name?
Oh, our narrator is hilarious.
He's in the closet. We had to lock him away.
Very funny, locking me in the closet.
The voiceover.
He's not a real person.
I beg to differ. I'm a real boy.
FYI. Anyway, so a little background. The loop is really divided into 4 parts. So you've got what we just completed, which is the east coast of the U.S., which is mostly intercoastal waterway, and then you've got the Great Loop, or lakes, which we're including the Hudson and the Erie Canal and the Great Lakes. Then you've got the inland rivers, and finally you've got the Panhandle, or the west coast of Florida. And so that's 4 kind of sections. We added a bonus 5th section, which is the Bahamas.
Highly recommend it.
So we're giving you kind of pearls of wisdom, tips, and thoughts on the first quarter, which is ICW, East Coast of the United States.
So everything we've done thus far in our 35 videos.
Yes. Okay, so number 1 learning point for me, and I know I've talked about this before, is that the start of the loop, no matter where you start, is intense. It is more intense than you anticipated. No matter how experienced you are, the grind of getting up every day and traveling every single day, and planning your next ports of call, and planning your next slips or anchorages, and planning your next activities non-stop is exhausting.
I think even if you were a professional boat captain or something, you're not going to as many stops in as quick of a time as you need to, and all the coordination. And a professional boat captain, I think if you're a delivery captain or something like that, you know all these places, and you may get into areas where you don't know. And so every marina,
on the loop,
it's a new situation.
Every docking situation was new to us,
especially at the beginning.
Yes, but it's intense and it's glorious and it's wonderful, and I've equated it to having a newborn. Like, you're so grateful and you're so happy that you're getting this experience, but it's exhausting and you don't feel like you can complain because it's grateful, but it's a lot of work and you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to keep everybody alive. So once I realized that the majority of loopers all have that same like overwhelming feeling like you're drinking from a fire hose, then I kind of calmed down a little bit, knowing, okay, it's not just me, it's normal. So that's my number 1 takeaway of the first section of the loop, and no matter where you start, that's gonna apply.
I know you got your notes, but can I add one to it?
Yeah.
If you say we've made a mistake, why are we doing this? I think everybody, probably 90% of loopers probably at some point said that. So don't be hard on yourself, and just realize that's just part of getting used to the new world in which you live in.
And pace. And if you watch the episode in St. Simon's, I fully quit. Like, I was done. I was off that boat. Mark had to talk me off the ledge. You fully quit while docking in Cape May, which we'll get to.
Yep.
Like, we both had moments where we're like, okay, I'm done. Like, fully, we're done.
If you find yourself saying, I want to quit, don't stress. You're not the first one.
Yes. Or as our friend said, she put the for sale sign back on their boat, not once, but twice or 3 times, I think.
Within like the first month.
Yes. So that's key learning number 1 for starting the loop. Key learning number 2, and this one is the mistake that I made. In booking marinas, we were staying at yacht clubs that our friends were members of. We were staying at the bougiest marinas available that had pools and the amenities that our kids liked. We should have been staying at marinas with other loopers. So that was a mistake that I didn't know I was making. And I think if you're starting the loop, my biggest piece of advice would be go where other loopers are. Hang with the crowd. Yeah, hang with the crowd. Because then you're meeting other loopers and you're finding buddy boats, which is, like, buddy boats were a game changer for us.
And that didn't happen until in our episodes, like episode 32, which was up in New Jersey. And up until then, we were lone wolfing and single with meeting a boat here or there. But once you hook up with a buddy boat or 2 or 3 or 5, it's a game changer. The stress level, it's just knowing someone's got your back. The talking, the downloading at the end of the day, it's just a completely different experience.
And someone asked a question in the comments, which, by the way, I love questions.
What is a buddy boat?
What's a buddy boat? So buddy boats are other loopers that you meet and you kind of jive with. And not every looper is going to be a buddy boat, but you kind of suss them out and you find your people. So, ironically, we were one of the biggest boats doing the loop, and one of our buddy boats was one of the smallest boats doing the loop. But we all just had the
symbiotic relationship,
same wonderful sense of humor, and we just had the best time. And they didn't have kids, but they still love our kids, and I can't imagine doing the loop without our buddy boats. But it takes time to find those people, and you don't find them unless you're staying at marinas with other loopers. So key learning point is when you start the loop, start at a loop marina and stay in loop marinas as you go till you find your peeps.
Shout out Go and Sojourn.
We had a bunch of buddy boats, but our main ones we were just meeting in our last episode. We met Sojourn in Delaware City and traveled with them down to Cape May, and then we met Go in Cape May, and then our 3 boats were really tight.
And I think you figure out your buddy boat, who you want it to be, not on the water necessarily. It's probably out at dinner having a drink or 2, and you're like, I really enjoy those people. And then it gets solidified when you're underway and see how they operate their boat and the VHF banter and...
I know. Yes, and I can't wait to tell all the funny stories and adventures we had. It becomes way more fun. You have extra adults who are paying attention to weather and tides and conditions and routes. And like one of our buddy boats was always researching the best restaurant to eat at the town we were going. So while I was teaching...
Well, Sojourn started looking for playgrounds for the kids.
Know. They took our kids to the movie one.
Number 1 rated
playground.
Top order from 1 to 5. All right.
Amazing. Okay, so stay at marinas that loopers are staying at. Now we get to the Dismal Swamp. To do or not to do the Dismal Swamp?
100% we are saying do the Dismal, aren't we?
Yeah, I would 100%
We're saying do
it
the
again.
Dismal Swamp. And you're going to hear some old salties that are going to say, oh, why would you want to do the ditch? They don't call it the ditch. It was absolutely spectacular. When we were editing that video and I look back at that footage and the water and the sky, you can't tell what's what, the nature, just it's one night and the quietness and the solitude.
So
Tell me where the sky ends and the water begins. Look.
Was great. So
that said, don't use your thrusters. And Mark you didn't even use them. You were just like Mark,
I was just testing them.
And whenever Mark started the boat, he would test the throttle controls and the thrusters just
always
to make sure
check your transmissions, your thrusters before you leave the dock, because it's too late once you've left the dock to see, oh gosh, that's not working. So I was just testing it. It sucked up a log, and what are the odds? Apparently, Sojourn 100%.
Yes. So I would not use thrusters. I probably wouldn't take a boat bigger than SeaSHINE, and you just go really, really slow, and it's a luck of the draw. But people get their boats run into things everywhere. So anyway, we loved it. We'd do it again.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. That was a question that was in our comments. Let's see. Oh, so now we're gonna fast forward to Cape May.
Okay.
And Cape May was hands down our most difficult docking on the entire
To do
loop.
Cape May or not?
No, well, the two things we learned. One thing we knew. Okay, so Mark was trying to dock, and I'll try to explain this. But the current is ripping this way, and we're trying to back into a slip with the current pushing us.
And we have had comments that are verifying what we're telling you, that it is a very tricky marina
everybody
to
says
dock
that's particularly where we were supposed to dock or where we did dock. But in hindsight, you always want to be powering into the current or the wind. So had we had the space to turn around, it would have been better if the current's going this way, that we were backing this way. We didn't have the space to turn around. We didn't know we were going to be facing such intense current coming under this little bridge.
We would have been backing for like a quarter mile.
So in order to get out to
visibility backing didn't exist. It was her telling me through the headphones which way to go. So that really wasn't.
And Mark quit after number 4. He's like, I'm done. I'm quitting the loop. And we're like in this
Attempt
treacherous
number 4.
A treacherous spot.
I kind of shut down.
He completely shut down. The kids are on there.
I think I might have said I want my mommy.
You did. The kids we're all on our.
You can do it, Dad.
Yeah, we're all talking, and the kids are like, "Come on, Dad, you can do it." And Mark's like, "No, I quit. And we're like, the current is taking us away, and we're gonna crash and die. And we're like, "You can't."
Buckle up, Mark. You can't quit.
I was like, "You can't quit right now." But so
I'm like, "We're leaving. We're going.
Okay.
We're gonna find somewhere else."
So case of what it's a new docking situation. We should have asked more questions going in and understanding the current better. But the other thing that we learned that we then used once in the Bahamas is if it's just not working, ask for a different slip assignment. We could have said, this isn't working, where else can you put us? We kept trying to get into that one slip, and then Mark quit, and he was thinking we weren't getting in any slip, and we were just, I don't know where he thought we were going to go. But we learned when we were at Compass Key, and there was a slip that we weren't, by that point in time, we'd been on the boat for over a year. We knew with the way the current was ripping, we weren't going to be able to safely get into that slip with our boat and our maneuverability. And so we just asked for a different slip, and they gave us one until we could move.
And the marinas are good at playing Tetris, and they do an amazing job of putting the boats where they need to be. But they're doing that at, like, they know who's coming in. They've done that 3 or 4 hours before you arrive. That's not to say they can't call an audible and move one boat over here to assist you if you're there first. So they may have already set it up, but a good a good dock master will work with you. And
or put you on the fuel dock until slack tide.
Or if you really want to play a one-way we travel with the boat that said every time, this is our first time docking this boat. Can you give us the easiest slip available?
Every time.
They were 9 months into the loop.
They still live on their boat, and I bet she's still doing it. This is our first time docking.
We learned to say, and this was accurate, that we have a very young crew. And then I followed up with, in fact, they're, what were they, 8 and 10. So that got their attention, and then who knows?
Which was pretty hilarious because looping, when we said we had young crew, they thought, okay, so we've got like people in their
22,
50s.
20.
Yeah. Because most loopers are a lot older, and they're like, oh, actually, you do have really young crew. So we let them know that we had an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old helping to man the line, so everybody knew who was coming in.
But
communication
rewind.
is key.
It took us 5 attempts. We found out that actually that was pretty darn good for that particular
and
slip.
Damage.
And no damage. A lot of boats have a lot of damage when they try that. And I likened it to you're in a semi-truck and you're trying to back a semi-truck up with one mirror with slight visibility, and the road is moving as you're backing up. And that kind of gives you the level of what that
was super tricky. But once we were in, the marina was amazing, great location, loved Cape May.
Okay.
So there you have it. Okay. I think those were my learning points. What did you learn on the East Coast that you want to share?
I don't know. I think you did pretty well. It's tenets of the loop. Be flexible. Make your reservations. Plan ahead. But things change. And don't get flustered. And we also came up with a phrase.
What's the best that can happen? I now have swag with it on it. This is the larger mug that
Are we
has
going to
our
have those
logo.
for sale?
We do already on our website.
Oh, okay.
And then this
Shameless
is
self-promotion. It's not self-promotion. We're promoting the mantra
I think
that betters your life. What's the best that can happen?
Everybody needs a coffee or tea mug that reminds you of that. You can also get, hats, T-shirts, all sorts of swag. I think that's about it. What I would really like to say thank you for is telling your friends about our channel, because we're trying to create entertaining content that transcends just more than just loopers. And I think we're hearing from families and people who aren't boaters who are also enjoying it. So thank you for sharing our channel and our adventure with your friends. We really appreciate that.
And we think if you've stuck around this far, if you've been watching, you realize we're not professionals and we're not trying to be professionals. We've shot all this with iPhones, and I think that's pretty amazing. But if you've stuck around,
Canada's gonna be so good. I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started, people.
It's about to get really good. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and tell your friends. And if you have any questions, put them down below, and we will do periodic real-time updates and answer questions. So that's all I know right now. Pick up 2 pieces of trash, if you wouldn't mind, a day. And that's
Until
it.
then, shine on.
Hello? Anybody? Hello?